TV. Now, my next guest has not only become a dad for the 5th time earlier this year, I do love that photo, Peter Andre has also released his latest children's book. And he joins me now, and it's lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you too. Yeah, I just want to say I love Andy Peters, by the way. He was doing an incredible impression there.
Yes.
He should do a 2025 remix, I think.
Do you think so? There he is. Look, he's still
Well,
dancing.
our names are similar. It's just back to front, isn't it?
That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is great to release. What were you asked me about the baby?
No, no, see, I can see the confusion. Are you getting any sleep?
Whatever I say is never going to be as little as the sleep that Emily gets because she's breastfeeding, so I can't complain. But there's definitely trying, you know, the lack of sleep. But it's such a blessing, isn't it?
Oh,
beautiful.
Fantastic.
She's so beautiful.
It really is. It's absolutely great. And of course, your other kids have inspired Baby Alien Rescue. This is the new one, and I love the fact that, you know, because children are the great critics, as I've said many times, and if they don't like it, they will tell you. Well, and if they do like it, they will tell you.
That's right, and they're very much involved. These are stories that I started making up for them from years ago, and the first book did really well, and they were like, well, where do we go from there?
Sure.
And how this book came about was, I said, well, imagine if some of the samples you brought back from that planet were actually eggs, and they've hatched now in your backpack because, of course, Theo's very naughty, and he shouldn't have taken those samples.
He took some samples in the last adventure.
And they're now at his school and they're about to hatch in his classroom.
Yes.
And if you're a fan of Gremlins and all those films that I used to love as a kid, you can let your imagination go wild. So they all get involved. They love these stories.
No, it's great. It really is, and you can reach them. One of the joys about having kids, and you know this, is actually reading stories to them. Yeah. And, of course, as you said, making up stories, that's why this all happened. The illustrations by Richard Watson,
very good,
are really funny. They're really good, actually. They just bring them... Is that what you had in your head?
Yeah.
What these wee aliens would look like?
Absolutely, because the story, you know, when they say, oh, can you do 800 words or 1,000 words, and I'll come back with 5,000, 6,000 words, and we have to condense it because the illustrations have to do a lot of the talking as well. And I just love it. You know, it brings it to life. And kids have, you know, they love space exploration and they love to use their imagination. And I've got hundreds of them in my head of planets that we could go to in different solar systems. And
it's limitless, really.
It's limitless.
Do you think it's going to get turned into a TV series, like an animation series? Because that would be lovely.
Well, actually, after the first book came out, we did have a talk with one of the big TVs that were talking about making it into cartoons. And we said, well, wait till we get to book 4 or 5. And then hopefully we'll do that.
It's yet another string to your bow.
I love it.
That's what it is. Now, of course, big week this week because lots going on. Obviously, the book is coming out. Much more importantly, it's your anniversary.
It is 9 years.
9 years,
9 years
Peter.
married. And so next year we move into double digits. And I thought that is... I mean, my mum and dad this year will be 70 years. Yeah,
wow.
and I'm praying Mum will make,
I hope so, because that's a big deal.
Yeah, and
that's
so for
huge.
me, 9 years, I'm like, my dad would be like,
nothing.
Talk to me in 60 years.
Apparently, I'm not sure if this is right, but 9th wedding anniversary is pottery.
Thank you for reminding me. I need to write this down. Pottery.
Maybe pot or something, I don't know, but apparently it's pottery. So a wee thing, I don't know.
I might get at the Harry Potter thing. That wasn't even funny. It was just, I was trying to be clever.
No, that was just how your mind works, and that's absolutely fine. Now, look, as well as all this going on in anniversaries and books and whatnot, you've got a couple of projects that have been bubbling away. Yes. Acting is something I know that you've wanted to do for ages, and it's now getting to that stage that we will finally get to see it. Yeah,
so I studied acting as a child, not music.
I know.
I actually failed at music at school. Some will say, not surprising. Whatever.
Someone can do Billy.
No, but I studied acting, but music I grabbed onto as soon as I had the opportunity and I ran with it. But when I got to my 40s, I thought, right, now's the time, and I went to America and did some short films, and they won awards, and it was amazing, and I thought, OK, great, but nothing ever got released, so in the UK.
Sure.
So we did my first feature film a year and a half ago. No, 2 years ago we started it, just finished it. I'm exec producer on it. I've written a song for the film and I'm acting in the film.
Great. And did you make the tea as well and do everything else?
I did everything. I was the tea maker, the doorman. No, but it was great. And you know, the director was really good because he let me have even a say in edit.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
But isn't it? It's a long process, though, Peter, isn't it? Like,
2
you know
years
the way
it's
that,
been, yeah.
exactly. You can write your book, and there you are. You're doing it. You're in control.
Absolutely.
It's you, and obviously music. It's you that's doing it. But when you're making a movie or a TV series, there's a lot of people involved, and it can just take such a long time.
But it's so nice. It's so nice when it finally gets done and you sit down and you watch it all together and you get these goosebumps and you think, I wonder how people are going to react when it comes out in the cinema. And we're hoping it's this year. It was meant to be this summer, but it just came back from Cannes. We've just had some amazing news, so we're just waiting.
Fantastic.
For
Tell me what it's called. And a rough idea what
so
it's
about. Called Jafaican, which actually means a fake Jamaican. So it's an actual saying. Jafaican is an actual saying when people think someone's a fake Jamaican.
Well, they're just pretending to be cool.
Yeah, and so this is filmed in the UK and in Jamaica. We filmed probably about 3 months in Jamaica. It was amazing. And it's a comedy and it is fantastic. Honestly, it's brilliant. I can't wait for it to be released.
Oh, that's great. Good for you. I mean, I don't know where you get the energy, especially as a new dad, to do all these things.
Yeah, do you know, it's funny because before COVID came along, I was like, oh, when I get to 50, I want to kind of step back from it all, you know. And then COVID you had that year where it was like you weren't allowed to do anything.
I know.
And I realised at that moment, I cannot slow down. If anything, it gave me more of a drive.
Sure.
So
no, that's
I hope I keep going until my legs carry me.
You've got all these children. You have to keep, both of you have to keep working.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You have to keep doing what you're doing. And of course, your two eldest are kind of following you a little bit. And the great thing is you can give them advice, whether they take it or not, it's up to them, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've got to find their own way. They've got to find their own way.
You know, someone said to me, and I'll never forget this, that the difference between any generation before this one, us and back, was that if they saw the prize at the top of the mountain, they knew they had to climb that mountain, rain, hail or shine, to get that prize. And if they fell, they had to get back up. These days, they see the prize at the top of the mountain, but they don't see the mountain. It's almost like kids now, they go to grab the prize, and if they don't get it straight away, they're like, oh, it's not working for me. And we're like, no, you've got to work. So I'm really trying to teach them about grafting, saying you can't just get it, you've got to work for it.
No, you're right, it's true. It is about the work ethic, and sometimes it's the rejections and the problems and the obstacles that actually make you better, you know, by
100%.
having to overcome. You're a very wise man, very wise man. It's always great to see you. Now, look, Super School Kids and the Baby Alien Rescue is out now. It's great. I mean, you would say for what age up to, would you think?
Well, both Theo's 7, and Millie's 10, and they both are part of it and they both love it.
Or even younger.
So I'd say up till about 11.
Fantastic.
12 years,
Excellent. So... Then they turn into monsters.
Yeah.
No, they don't. They don't.
Yeah, I need to pick your brain about that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's great to see you. It really is.
Really
You're a good lad.
Appreciate it, and you too.